and welcome to the Bear Right Trail Running Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Sam Kirk, joined by Chris Lewis, my co-host here today, and also Andrew Simpson. Andrew Simpson out of Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, joining us here in, I guess, what we're going to call part two of our JFK preview episodes. These are the pre-race interviews with our East Coast contingent. So Andrew has been coming to JFK for several years now. Always in the mix, always going for it, and just excited to have you on here today.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Andrew, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for carving out some time here on a Sunday, Sunday afternoon. I know family, weekends, they can get busy. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for chatting a little bit of running here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we get into all the JFK stuff, why don't you tell us a little bit about what was the nexus for you? What got you into trail running? It looks like you're hooked, hook, line, and sinker. So what was it that brought you in?
So I was a geobiology degree at Penn State, and we had field camp at the end of college, basically, and we did a lot of hiking, obviously, and people would be like, "You hike fast, why don't you do trail running?" I'm like, "I hate running. Like, why would I do that?" I didn't even know trail running was a thing. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's a thing or whatever." So fast forward then into adulthood, when I'm 24, I guess it was, I just randomly, I was playing soccer on 3 different teams at the time, just open men's stuff. And I just randomly was kind of getting fed up with that. Late nights, your games would start at 10 or 11. So I Google searched trail running, just like out of the blue. And I'm like, oh, they're like 100-mile races. So that was pretty much why I started running, a bit untraditional in that way. I started running so I could do 100 miles. So that would have been 2013 is when I did my first ultra, and I thought it would be a 5-6 year project to get to 100 miles, but I ended up doing that in 2015, and pretty much by that point I was just like, I mean, like a lot of ultra runners, just obsessive, like, just loved it. I love the community too. I love the fact, I know that's, cliche, but I love the fact that I'd finish a race, and if I had a bad race, I could only blame myself. Whereas, in soccer, you're like, the 2 teams are yelling at each other, yelling at the ref, like whatever. So, I guess I'm a recovered soccer player, but it made the transition pretty easy. Speed work and stuff like that was tough. That was the biggest change, but the cardio was already there, so it was a bit natural in that way. So yeah, it's pretty much the background on that.
So Andrew, that's interesting. Yeah, that you found, running. It's a natural progression. I think a lot of ex-soccer players growing up, you have that motor. You build that fitness level through soccer. A lot of soccer players find running. Did you, I guess, are you coached by anybody? Have you been coached? So everything is just sort of.
Yeah, no, not officially.
Okay.
My one cousin is a local high school coach, and my other coach is for York College, which is actually you're probably familiar with Ben Linney, Sam. That's how I met Ben. Yeah. He actually ran for my older cousin in high school and then my other cousin in college. So, I mean, we'll bounce ideas off each other, but I have no official structure. Some coaches don't like the way I train sometimes, which, is probably valid on their end. But yeah, no, I've never been coached. Just reading stuff, watching stuff, learning in independent ways, I guess.
Well, bringing up Ben Linney, someone who I've raced on multiple occasions, has taken us up on invitations to throw down at ridiculous races out here. Might get into that a little bit later here as well. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about that friendship, that training relationship. I know that another friend of yours, Reagan McCoy, is going to be coming down as well.
Yep.
Know that you've crewed for each other, run together, things like that. So I wonder if you would tell us about those training relationships and how you guys have supported each other.
Yeah, so Ben is local to me, so we've trained quite a bit together. Several full blocks more or less on the weekends. We'll get our long run workout in together. Him and Reagan are both 10 plus years or right around there younger than me, so it keeps me it keeps me sharp. They have a lot, especially like Ben. Just I'm speaking more to him because I train with him more. His speed is just way faster than anything I've ever done. Under 15-minute 5K PR and just stuff. I mean, my 5K PR was technically this past summer just because I've really never done them. So really just improving me in a lot of ways. And Reagan is more of like a relationship we developed through competing against each other in the mountains, and he usually kicks my butt. He just beat me pretty badly at Grindstone. I don't know, a month or so, 2 months ago, I guess now. But yeah, I went up and paced him to his win at World's End, and yeah, he's good in pretty much every way. I'm not. Really strong climber, just super tough. He almost never misses in a race. He's very consistent. So yeah, I mean, beyond being great friends with both of them, they're just like always motivating me to be better.
Andrew, have you talked with both those guys about race strategy for JFK? Do you guys have similar strategy? Are you looking to maybe work off each other for a bit, or how does that look?
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I'm definitely someone who I tend to do my own thing depending on how I'm feeling. But I wouldn't try to drop them or something if they were running a pace that I liked, well into it. It would be nice to have company on the towpath, since I've always been alone, on the towpath pretty much start to finish. Other than like passing or getting passed, I've never been part of a group, so that could be nice. But yeah, I think we're all kind of different in how we race and run, so we'll see if we're able to form a pack or not.
Yeah, I had expressed during a little bit of a roundtable discussion that we had that I have a hope that that's what you guys are going to do. My hope is that that PA Maryland contingent of guys are going to group up, lift each other up, pull each other along to a great race out there. That would be likely have you going out a little slower than you have in the past. Do you have any thoughts about how you might rein in and keep it? I guess over 155 off of Weaverton Cliffs. Any chance of that?
No. No, I was actually thinking I might go more aggressive on the trail this year and try to reel it in on the towpath a little bit.
Yeah. So how have you? Yeah. So, incredibly, you've basically run the exact same time the past 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So did those?
2 tenths of a second faster.
Yeah,
we
were looking at that. I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
Wow, unreal. Sam, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
My guess is that those races, it's not like they happen the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look at your Weaverton split, but I think those are minutes apart. So I'm guessing those races came together a little bit differently. Can you talk about those a little bit?
I think I was actually under a minute off Weaverton.
Indifference.
I could be wrong.
Indifference.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think the past 2 years I might have split like 152 and change, and then my first year I might have been like 153 something.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought it was like 152, 154. Yeah, but yeah.
You could be right. I know I've been under 155, but over 150, all of them. Yeah, just honestly, I'd like to maybe get there closer to 150 this year. Last year I actually felt great on the trail, and my watch, which I've since replaced, was going nuts, and it told me I was going way faster than I was, and that I was going to get there in like 1:49. So I was like, oh, I'm going to reel it in a little. Well, it was just my watch was inaccurate. I shouldn't have paid attention to it. I should have just trusted how I felt. And sure enough, I came off in like 1:52, whatever. Um, so I felt like I had more to give on the trail last year. So I'd like to push that down a little bit, honestly.
Okay.
But stay responsible on the CNO has been what I'm trying to learn, I guess.
So what has the CNO looked like for you in these past races? What's
Yeah. Yeah.
what are you hitting it at pace wise, and what's going on?
Yeah. So my first year, having no idea what I was doing at JFK, basically, got off the AT feeling great, and immediately it felt so easy. I dropped to maybe 6:25 ish for a few miles, worked my way up to fourth, and felt good until I suddenly didn't, because just was not ready for that. I'm still, don't do a ton of flat long running, so that's always a bit of a struggle. So yeah, I blew up around the marathon mark, and then the next year, I got about 50K, and was running mid to low 6:30s. And then last year, I was, determined to not explode on the CNO, and made it. So I started around 6:40 and kept it there, and passed a lot of people, got passed by a few people, and then got off, got off the CNO. I think I was in eighth, and then I got passed by one more person, but that was the farthest I ever made it without feeling bad. I got past the last cruise stop on the CNO, so I think that's like 38.7 or so. I think I was maybe like 39, 40 miles before I started feeling bad last year. Unfortunately, had my slowest road section of my three attempts last year, and got passed within a half. Like I was within sight of the finish when I got passed into ninth. Still
Last year
makes
was a
me
windier, right?
my stomach. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was,
Last
it
so
was windy.
yeah, I would say if I had to rank my years, last year was my best executed. I think the headwind on the CNO made times a bit slower, and then there was just crosswind on the roads, and I didn't have the willpower, unfortunately, to fight through it super well.
How does your training block look like this year compared to the last two? Has it differed? Have you
Yeah.
changed, tweaked things up, and if so, in what ways?
Yeah. So lower mileage since Grindstone, because I had a lot of volume all year.
Hmm.
Honestly, like I think I'm coming up on almost 4,000 miles on the year. So I was like, I need to dial it back a little. So 2 years ago, I was doing 115 to 120 mile weeks, and I was
Oh
actually
wow.
hurt for JFK. Hurt
Yeah.
myself a week out. Just being stupid. Like it was my
Yeah.
own fault. No excuse there. Which just made it. It was my back, so I had hip
Mm.
pain the whole time. Which
Man,
my
I hear you
cardio was
there.
there, but yeah, my cardio was there, but it was just not enjoyable, especially on the AT, which in theory should be my favorite section. And then last year, I probably overcorrected a little. I did very little hard running, still good volume, and I was still fit. But so this year, I added a third workout in each week, which I typically, for since I've been serious about ultra running, I've only done two workouts a week. So basically, I've been doing something really short and fast for me on Tuesday morning. Something like 5 by quarter mile on 30 second rest or something like that, and then kind of just uh, long hilly workout usually on Wednesday. So kind of like a light back to back, and then like a longer speed workout on Saturday, which I think I'm fitter than last year. I don't know if I'm as fit as 2022, but I'm healthy. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's better, I would say.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, trying new things.
Hmm.
You you had two things that got you the exact same result
Hmm.
previously,
Yeah.
and so maybe this will get you the exact same result, or I know there's you're probably looking for something with a 5 in front of it. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
How deep into the fives are we looking for?
I think if I nail it, I could get close to 550. Maybe if I could get under that, that'd be awesome. I mean, that's the up there goal. The one that's like things came together really, really well. But for sure, I'd love to get under 6. I've felt, especially the past 2 years, I should have, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter what I should have done. So yeah, I'd love to get into the 5s for sure.
So that's your pie in the sky sort of like a goal. What are your B and C's? What does that look like if you have them?
Yeah, I mean, 6 would probably be like under 6 would probably be the B goal.
Yeah.
C, I don't know, just not quit on the day, even if it's not going south. It's probably my C goal. Usually my C goal because I've never DNF'd, but I've definitely mailed it in. And just like felt sorry for myself and walked or jogged slowly to the finish line. Not at JFK specifically yet, but it's always a reality that can happen in ultra running.
Oh, absolutely. And if you do enough races, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen
for sure.
Or I don't know because Andrew's done a lot more races than we have, and we have I think 3 more DNFs than you have. So
that's all my wife. She's dragged me out of a chair and literally pushed me down the trail a few times. So I would have 100% dropped if it weren't for her. So yeah.
Do you have? Is she going to be supporting you? Your family be supporting you this year too?
Yeah, my wife Dana will be crewing for me, which at JFK is usually just a bottle swap. Hopefully, don't even break stride and keep going.
That's important though.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about gear. What are you going to have on your feet?
I think I'll probably, unless it's really wet for some reason, wear Saucony Endorphin Pros the whole time.
Oh, on the trail as well.
Yeah, I wore Carbon X's the past year on the 2 years on the trail and went okay. I think the technicality of JFK is a bit overblown, honestly. I mean, the leaves can make it tough, but I feel like if you come down the wrong way in the leaves, even in a trail shoe, you can still roll your ankle or whatever.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. There's certain people that I would say absolutely not. Do not go up on that trail. But you're running that trail in 150, 152. And that means that you've got some trail chops, and you're running races in a lot of difficult conditions. So you know what you're getting into. A roadie shows up in Endorphin Pros, and they're going to have a tough time.
Yeah.
They're going to have a real tough time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's great. You don't have to do a shoe change.
Hopefully not. I'll have a spare set in case I change my mind last second. Which, if I do that, I'd probably wear Hoka Challengers on the AT section.
Nice. Yeah. How about the nutrition? What's that going to look like? And is that any different than the past few years?
At JFK, yes.
At JFK, yeah.
Yeah, so at Gorge Waterfall 100K this year out in Oregon, I started drinking a lot more calories. And so I have Science and Sport. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that brand. Their drink mix, it's, good amount of carbs, good amount of calories, tastes fine, goes down pretty easy. And then their gels as well. Just neutral flavor or whatever. They tend to just go down better for me than a lot of other gels. I have their caffeinated ones and Martin caffeinated gels. I've used both. I honestly haven't decided which, but I'll start trickling caffeine in after Weaver 10. That's pretty much the plan the whole time if things are going well.
Now it'll be, I believe, if I remember correctly, it'll be Roctane on course, right? I'm
honestly not sure. The only thing I've ever taken from a an aid table at JFK. I took a cup of Coke on the road last
Okay.
year. That was it. Yeah,
Really? Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Usually I'm just going on, what I'm carrying in my handheld. Packing gels in there and whatever. And this year I'll be drinking nutrition as well. But yeah, I'm not sure. They did mention in their recent pre-race email who their gel sponsor was, and it was not something I've had before, so I
Oh,
won't be trying. I can't recall what it was, but I won't be trying it.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what they always say. Try something new on race day. It's
Right?
it's,
Yeah,
it's that or
something like
weddings. I
that.
don't know. It's something along
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
those
Yeah.
lines.
Oh, and
Something like
salt.
that.
I'll be
Yeah,
taking
something
salt.
blue.
Salt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salt. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how's that? Is it capsules that you're going to be carrying
Yeah,
with
capsules. Yeah.
you? Okay.
I think they're like the Goo brand
Mm-hmm.
of what. Yeah.
Awesome.
But
How
yeah, I
do
know.
you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So this is another gear question. So one issue I've always had is carrying capsules. I always like on these longer ultras, especially like JFK, where like it's a hard running ultra.
Hmm.
I've got my salt tabs, and I've also got Advil with me as well. So I carry. Well, I would go with ibuprofen, and maybe like be able to try to take one or two of those during the race as well,
Yeah.
just to kind of like, I don't know, seems to help me.
Hmm.
But and my liver has held up.
I actually do the same thing. I don't think we ever talked about that, Sam.
Yeah,
I thought
but
I was the only weirdo actually running with them on me.
but it's hard to sort that stuff out, like
Sure.
Sure.
especially at 6:30 pace.
Yeah.
Do you have any tricks with that?
I only have salt in a Ziploc bag, so yeah, I don't
Yeah,
carry
that's what I'm
Advil
doing
on
too.
me. I used to use Advil a decent amount in my early days, and I had no health issues, but I felt like I was using it as a crutch, and like
Mm-hmm.
it was hurting me mentally. It's usually the opposite for people, but I'm like, oh, I'm in such bad shape, I need Advil, and things would spiral. So I just stopped using it and started
Yeah.
racing better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I usually just have salt in it. Some like a more mountainous race, I'll carry peanut butter pretzels in the same bag, but not for JFK because I'd probably choke.
Oh yeah,
with how fast you're trying to run. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I call it my salt bag. Basically, everything in there is some sort of salty snack. So,
Great.
and with the peanut butter pretzels, it's pretty easy to tell if you have a pretzel or a salt pill. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it'll just be salt in there. So that's how I differentiate. I usually put more than I need in case you dump them all over the trail. Hopefully, you don't dump every last one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
yeah. So well, um, you know, wrapping a little bit of things on JFK here. You're gonna do fantastic. We're looking forward to following that. I had a couple of other questions that I wanted to ask you, especially since this is it's meant to be an East Coast trail podcast celebrating the East Coast. Wondered if you had favorite East Coast races or favorite East Coast trails that you think other people maybe don't know about, that we should be, you got to run this trail or you got to run this race.
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of racing itself, JFK is probably my favorite race. It's the one race where we get like a competitive field that you have out west, and we don't have to hop on a plane, which is nice.
Oh yeah.
In terms of trails, I guess I have two. The Mason-Dixon Trail right near me has some of the biggest hidden gems in Pennsylvania. It's almost 200 miles. It goes into Delaware and Maryland as well. Some super rugged stuff, more rugged than anything I've raced in. And then I love World's End, which I know you've been up there, Sam. That's a really cool course. Underrated race for sure. It's small field, probably keeps it from being super competitive in its depth, but usually has several good runners show up there, and it's well run. Yeah, so those are probably favorite trails, World's End, and right down the street, literally from me on the Mason-Dixon.
Awesome. So to piggyback off Sam a little bit, and appreciate your time here. Don't want to keep you keep you on here too long. But any other possibilities that you're looking at as far as races for 2025? Sort of what does your upcoming schedule look like?
Yeah. So Western Lottery obviously is that's a constant thing. So I usually form my schedule a little bit more after that. But I'm already signed up for the Bull Run 50 miler in Virginia.
Okay.
Because I figure it'll work well for Western. I think it's a pretty runnable course, so get the legs turning over. That's in early May. Probably no ultras before then. And then if I don't get into Western, I'll probably do Old Dominion 100 again, which I did this year and made a wrong turn. Was having probably, in my opinion, the best day of my life there, and missed the turn and ended up doing about 112 miles. So,
man,
want to go back there. That's a really really cool old school race. Zero sponsorships, which is like literally unheard of.
That's great.
In today's day and age. So yeah, I'd put that up there actually with some of my favorite races as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Part of the reason we have this podcast going is also to try to collect crew for Western states. I hate to tell you this, but I'm going to be going to Western states. I'm telling you, I'm getting in the lottery. And I would like you to withdraw your name. You've run it recently. I don't think this is fair at all that you're putting your name back in that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about running it. I did a lot of walking in Western states, so I'd like to get another crack at that one.
All right. Well, I guess I'll allow it. I'll allow it. But hopefully we will all be going out there. There'll be a big East Coast contingent.
Be awesome.
That'd be great.
It'll be fun. Well, Andrew, thanks again, man. This has been a lot of fun. Hopefully for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always down to talk ultra running for sure.
Yeah.
No, thanks again. Like I said, it's difficult, of course, with busy lives and family to get together here on a weekend. So thank you. It was awesome. Awesome getting to meet you. And I think you're going to really crush this race. And it seems like you have things. You're poised to really have a breakout day on Saturday. So good luck to you. Can't wait to follow the race, and can't wait to chat afterwards as well.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll see you both down there, I guess.
Well, I probably won't be,
okay.
But Sam will definitely be there. I will be following though. I will be following certainly.
Yeah, live stream. So that's exciting.
I know, right? Perfect.
Yeah, I will be there. So I will see you at the expo on Friday, Andrew. And then also, I think Chris has got a lot of FOMO going right now with regard to JFK, so he might just show up at 11th hour. Who knows? He definitely wants to be there.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm just hoping that you're going to be able to talk some smack on Ben. In about I guess it would be like 7 days, right? 7 days, you're gonna be like out for a little shakeout jog with him and be like, man, I really handed it to you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. We've beaten each other a number of times. It usually doesn't. We're usually pretty nice about it. But
all right,
we definitely like to beat each other. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Good
all right.
Stuff,
you know what? Actually, I've got one more thing. I've got to plug something here, Andrew.
Oh, I know what this is.
So after you recover from this race, we have upcoming in French Creek State Park, we have the 9-mile World Trail Championships of Eastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah, wrap your head around that.
Yeah.
It sounds great until the last bit of that very lengthy title.
Yes.
It is great.
It is going to be quite the throwdown. December 15th. Mark your calendar. And
Ben showed up last year for it.
Yeah.
yep,
And
has the course record now.
he does.
Yep,
He does.
yep. So this is big time. So we're trying to get everybody out. Hopefully you'll be there. And maybe you put together a rival team. I don't know who's going to rival the Bear Right Trail team, but you put something together and come out and throw down.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see what JFK recovery goes like.
Yeah.
Maybe. I wouldn't rule it out. French Creek is cool. So
Yeah. If you're feeling good and you're on the road section with 8 miles to go, just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to give it 100% on that road section because you have an A race coming up. That's throwing it out there.
Probably worth getting past a couple times.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well, the money is much better at
Okay.
the world champs. Yeah.
All right, I'm sold.
Or maybe just the trophy. We're still figuring that out, but it's one that you'll certainly want to win. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's one you'll certainly want to win.
Maybe.
Maybe not. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Andrew.
Yep. Thank you.
Andrew, thank you. Take care, man.
Yep. You too. Thank you.